Hello, it is Saturday, and this week's topic is the United States. Now, this has the potential to be like a really politically charged topic, but what I'm going to be talking about doesn't really have anything to do with politics, and if it weren't for the fact that I'm from the United States, it wouldn't even have anything to do with the United States. So when I was younger, I hated the US, and I think it was kind of trendy back then to hate your country, I'm not sure. But I would tell my parents I want to move out of here as soon as possible to another country, and that would really aggravate my dad. It was kind of his mindset that I was being very ungrateful for what I have here. And I would always just be like, nah man, this country sucks, like other countries are so much better, and he'd just be like, why do you think that? And I would have no clue. I was like 12. I didn't know anything about my own country, let alone other ones. I had no idea how to compare them, that's for sure. Long story short, I'm not really sure what my problem with the United States was, but it's long since gone away. Because, regardless of its many pros and cons, I was born and raised here, this is my home, and that's all I need to feel to love it. So I read this blog post once by this guy from Bangalore, India, who was going to school in the United States. In the post, he was writing about all of these new and exciting and seemingly perfect aspects of America that he was experiencing for the first time. And then it kind of went into describing what it was like to come back from America to Bangalore, and how all of the roads were bumpier and things weren't as big and as grand and people weren't as well dressed. And it was being phrased very negatively what it was like to come back to Bangalore. But then the tone very abruptly changed to like relief and familiarity and all of these sentimental connections he described about places he loved growing up and all the things he really missed about his home. And the whole thing was kind of concluded by him saying, America was beautiful, yeah, it was awesome, but so is his home in ways that America could never ever be, because they're just different places. And while he could definitely list things that were better and worse for either place, he could never be homesick for the United States. Now we're gonna jump right into another story about World Pride in Toronto, which just recently happened. Basically, since it was World Pride, they wanted to get a lot of different activists from a lot of different countries to come to Pride and speak. But basically, there were a bunch of important LGBT activists from Uganda that were denied visas to come to Toronto because Canada was worried that they would seek asylum in Canada because they could be out and proud in Toronto, but they were gonna live in fear in Uganda. And basically, the response from the activists from Uganda was, we can't stay in Toronto because there's too much work to do in Uganda. I think it takes a lot to say there's something really wrong with my country and it really affects me, but I'm going to stay and fix it because it's my home and it deserves to be fixed. I also think it takes a lot to say my country is making me live in fear and misery and I deserve a better life, so I'm going to leave for good. Both of those things take a lot of courage as a person, but even if the United States became a place that made me fear for my life, that threatened my life and forced me to leave to another country, I still think this place is the only place I could ever truly be homesick for. I have a lot of loyalty to it because it's where I grew up, it's where all of my memories are. And it isn't necessarily the laws or the politics that connects me to this place, it's simply that I'm here, and this is where I am. And I could have been anywhere else, but I wasn't. So this is where I'm rooted, really. But I mean, go USA, but like wherever you're from, that's important. So good job everyone from being from a place. See you next Saturday. Bye.